Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? Okay, lots of you in the room here today. So I'm going to give you a concept here in terms of how to maintain sales and marketing and business profits to keep a sustainable business. That's my subject matter today. So let me just introduce who we are. We're Ireland's largest business coaching company. We've been operating in Ireland since 2002. And we work with small, medium-sized businesses across the food, hospitality and retail sector on a day-to-day basis. We have a team of coaches based in Dublin and also around the country. And one of the ways we achieve a lot of the results for our clients is through workshops and seminars, as well as working with clients on a one-to-one basis. I've shown a summary here in relation to the types of results that we've been able to achieve over the last 12 months with a particular program which is a part of a skill net and quite specifically geared to engaging with small, medium-sized businesses and helping those businesses grow. But what you'll see is implementing the ideas that we've managed to achieve are a 97% improvement in the business overall. And these are results we've been achieving in the last 5 years, coming out of recessions, getting the businesses turned around. And one of the key things to that is being able to change the culture or change the mindset of the business owners and the teams that work within that business. And I'm going to cover a little bit of that later on. You'll also see here that 82% of the businesses that we've engaged in the last 12 months have increased their sales, which is quite significant. But the biggest number there is that 71% of the participants have actually grown their profits. That's a critical issue. A number of years ago, we would have seen that number at around 34%. So to see it in the last 12 months coming in 71%, we're very, very pleased at that. Some of these numbers reflect the changing economy or a better performing economy, but obviously some of them also come from implementing the strategies. And the last key number that's there is 2/3 of our client companies that we have surveyed have created jobs. So when the business starts to grow, they put in place the systems, they need team members, they need people to work with them. And what you'll see here is 217 full-time jobs and 187 part-time jobs. So they're the types of results that we engage and get from clients that work with us. Most times when we ask this question in a workshop, I get some participation in terms of what are the challenges facing businesses all the time. And whether that's you want to make the business more lean, you want to make it more sustainable, all of these issues apply on a constant basis. We summarize them into those 5 areas. So you have planning, team, time, money and sales. They're the core areas. And really what I wanted to just highlight here is these are normal, they're consistent. Every single business has these as it works through a period of time. To get a sustainable business, you need to address these issues. You need to get the processes in place in order that these become profit centers rather than cost centers. So it's a key part of it. Now I mentioned earlier in terms of culture, to change the culture in an organization and get the results, we use this model. And effectively we call it a results pyramid. But what you're seeing here is the results really come about from the actions that businesses are engaging in. And the actions are as a result of beliefs that the business has, and beliefs come from experiences. Okay? And every business owner, every employee has this process going on a day-to-day basis. If you want to change the results in an organization, you're going to have to change what it does. You're going to have to change the things that it does, and you're also going to have to take a real strong look at what are the beliefs that the people working in that business have, and also what their experiences are. So you want to make significant change and make it sustainable, you need to take a look at these 3 core areas. So if we're looking to make a change from our current set of results, which we describe here as OR1, and we want to make it and grow to an OR2, we have to take the team on a journey and bring about the new tools that will help get everybody focused. So to get our second set of results, we need to bring our whole business through a complete transformation. And effectively, this is a cultural and team engagement transformation. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. So one of the key models that I'll just show you here is what we call above and below the line. And in most organizations, there's a behavior at times which is down here below the line, and we call this the blame game. And there's at other times there's behavior which is above the line, and we call that accountability. So in order for things to work inside the business, you need to have less below the line behavior and attitude, and then significantly more above the line. So what are the typical below the line things, the blame game that you often hear? And you'll just see them. You'll get comments like, it's not my job, I didn't know about it, I'll wait and see, pointing and blaming at other people. And these are behaviors that come up every single day. Sometimes it's the business owner themselves, it's the management team who drive that culture, but you'll find it in every single organisation in Ireland. So to get real sustainable change and shift, you need to engage in an accountability programme. The model we use is a 4-step model where first step is for somebody to see where the issues are, second step is to own it, third step is to solve it, and the fourth step is to do it. And that's above the line culture, and you bring in that transformation into an organisation. There's 16 best practices within each of these 4 areas, and I can go through those with anything you want to find out more about. But there's 16 best practices, and we measure organisations in terms of where are they in relation to each of these steps. So the real subtle difference in what we're looking to do is we're not talking about who is accountable for a failure or a particular bad result, but we're looking to change the culture in terms of who's accountable for achieving the result. So it's a forward process rather than a historical look back. And changing that culture, changing that behaviour is going to be significant. Now, it's all fine and well when you have your culture and everything's changed. You still need another model that's going to drive sales growth and going to drive profitability growth. And I want to take you through, this is again another model we use, but we bring businesses through a 6 steps process. One of those I'm going to talk about today, which is niche. And what niche is about is basically predictable, sustainable cash flow. So some of the investments that businesses need to engage in need to be funded from somewhere. Always come back to where is the money, how are we going to finance any productivity improvement, any engineering improvement, any growth and development of new premises or new lines. So where's the sustainable cash flow? And we use a formula which we call the 5 ways. Very, very simple formula, but very, very powerful. And when clients engage with us on this program, they start to match their own numbers in here. But I'll show you just a very quick example of those numbers. So I'm looking for a 10% improvement across the model. So I'm looking to increase the number of leads by 10%. I'm looking to improve the conversion rate. And conversion rate is those numbers of inquiries that actually convert into a client or into a sale. A lot of businesses have a lot of leads, but they don't measure their conversion rate. And conversion rate is one of those numbers that if you look at and measure and manage, it starts to improve. Now, what do you think happens to my number of customers when I increase and improve 2 areas by 10%? Do I improve my number of customers by 10%? And the answer is no, it goes up by 21%. The 21% is a combination of a 10% growth here and a 10% improvement here, giving me a 21% improvement in my total number of customers. If I can improve the number of transactions I have with my clients by 10%, and I can also improve and increase my average prices by 10%, there's going to be a significant improvement in turnover. So look at the number there, it's gone up to 292,000. That's a significant increase in the business. I improve my margin by 10%, and then the final area to look at is the profitability. So what I've achieved in these numbers is 60% increase in profit and a 46% improvement in turnover. All because I started to work on all of these areas. We would have over 365 strategies in each of these in order to help businesses actually make this happen in their business. All right? If I asked you today what your numbers were, would you be able to answer the questions for me? So could you tell me how many customers you have? Could you tell me your profitability? And could you tell me the margins? And a lot of businesses, when we start working with them, haven't got these numbers down. That money can be used to invest in team, can be used to invest in plant, can be used to invest in long-term pensions for both employees and management. So there's a number of areas, and that's why we put this up here. What would you do if you had that money, extra money inside your own business? What would you actually use it for? So I'm just going to show you here in terms of the formula, or how we work with businesses, and where do we start. Where do you think we start on that? What do you think the most important area is? Please, I need somebody to shout out. What do you think it is? Where would you start? A lot of times we take a look at the profit margin, and the very simple reason is oftentimes businesses don't understand and know the profit margin on individual profits. They look at the gross sale value, the sales that go into the bank account, and they're not necessarily looking at what margin are we making on everything. So if we were to increase a whole lot of new sales up here and we're losing money, it's going to have a big impact on profitability. So take a look at margins and understand those. Can you increase your profitability by how much? How quickly is it possible to increase your profitability? And this is one key area. If you go back to the numbers I showed you earlier, where you've got a 71% improvement in profitability, that's because people are putting in place the strategies that we teach them. The second area we go for is conversion rate. And its simple fact of life is if you can double or improve your conversion rate, you double your turnover. So most businesses have a sufficient number of leads coming into them today, but aren't very good at converting those into sales. So conversion rate turns probably some training, probably some scripting, probably some improvement in how we ask for the sale. What I will tell you is an awful lot of businesses don't follow up on sales inquiries, which is actually fascinating. So I'm sure each of you in the room here, when you talk and think about something that you inquired, made an inquiry about a product or service to buy recently, are you still waiting for a phone call? Okay, think about it. Anybody, show of hands, made an inquiry recently? Okay, so if that's your experience as a retail consumer, what's it like in your business? Because does that happen in your business? And we generally find that conversion rate is easy to fix, it costs very little in terms of investment, and it's about improving processes and systems. The third area we look at is average value sale. And the example we always use in this case is, what would McDonald's do? And going back to the original story about McDonald's is, when you go to McDonald's today, they ask you a very simple question when you make your order. What is the question? Most of you think it's, do you want to go large with that? Isn't that right? So McDonald's have perfected this over the last 25 years, where originally, when you went into McDonald's, Irish people ordered a burger and a Coke. McDonald's got fed up and asked them, do you want fries with that? So they packaged it all together into meals. So for many years they had a meal, so you were getting the increase in the average value sale here. McDonald's nowadays don't ask you, do you want to go large? McDonald's assume you've ordered large and ask, do you want to go down? Okay, so check that out the next time you're at McDonald's. But that is increasing your average value sale. And I always say to people who are in business, what is your fries question? What question can you ask your customer that is an additional sale, that can add value to the bottom line? And it can be very, very simply done. It's just a simple question that your team could be asking. The fourth area that we look at is the number of transactions. How often do people buy from us? How can we get our customers buying from us on a continuous basis? And a lot of that is about customer retention and customer service. But we're always too busy looking for new customers and not paying attention to the people who are our existing customers at the moment. And then the final area that we take a look at is the number of leads. And it depends on the business cycle. The reason this is probably number 5 is because new leads cost money. And it can be quite expensive to generate leads. If you're in a startup phase, new leads becomes number 1. But it's one of the most expensive areas. And if you have leads, have an established business, we're working on profit margin, increasing the average number of transactions, increasing the average value sale, and improving your conversion rate, then you're going to be able to achieve significant results. So, thank you for listening. We're running one of our workshops next week, in one of our quarterly business planning workshops, which is on the 22nd. If you're interested in that, come down to our stand. We're down on stand number 67, or take a note of the telephone number and the link there. We run business planning workshops every quarter for businesses. So this is quarter 4's workshop. So if you haven't got your 90-day plan or plan for your business, please take a look at this and we'll share the strategies that I've just been talking about with you. So there's our social media links. Again, if you want to take those down, that'd be great. Thank you for listening. My name is Paul Fagan. We're down at number 67, but I'll hang on here for a couple of minutes if anybody has any questions. Thanks very much.